Hi there, my name's Alan, and welcome to day 10 of the special Advent recordings. Today we're thinking about one of the names that Isaiah gives to Jesus 700 years before even he was born, and it's one of the names that is perhaps a little bit unusual. The name is Everlasting Father, and it might be that we think more of God as being the Everlasting Father, but Isaiah was referring to Jesus. And as we prepare for Christmas and in this season of Advent, it's good to think about how Jesus is an everlasting Father to us. I don't know what you think or feel whenever you hear the word Father. For many of us, it can be a positive thing, a good memory. It may be that our Father is still a person that we relate to well, who is around, who we can enjoy their company. It may be that, like me, my father died when I was quite young, so I miss my father, and there can be a sense of emptiness or loss. It may be that for some of us there are negative connections where our father hasn't been a true father to us, or hasn't provided that security or love that we need. But whatever your situation, the invitation to us in Advent is to discover Jesus as our everlasting Father. He talked about a story of a father, and you can find that story in Luke chapter 15. It's a very well-known story. A father who had two sons, and one of the sons came to him one day and asked for his share of the inheritance. And he received that inheritance from his father, and then he went off and he spent it all on reckless living, wild parties. And then when he was not in a very good place, when he was feeding pigs and realizing that he'd probably not made the best choice, he decided to go home, go back to his father to ask for his father's forgiveness and see if he would take him on as one of his hired hands. I love how it talks about in the Bible that even when his son was a long way off, the father saw him and rushed out to meet him. I wondered maybe if it was a bit like this street behind me, where he was looking out, wondering if his son was okay. Jesus is an everlasting Father to you and to me, if we'll invite him to be that. Isaiah spoke of this child who would be born 700 years in the future, yet he makes clear that this child is the author of eternity, if you like, the father of time. And Jesus himself says that if you want to know what God is like, to look at him, that he is the perfect image of God, the exact representation of his being. So Jesus shows us what God the Father is like. This is the Father who will never leave us. He provides the strength of everlasting arms. He ministers with an everlasting consolation. He performs his work with everlasting power. He rules over an everlasting kingdom. He maintains an eternal presence, and his invitation to you and I that we can receive again in this Advent season is to receive a life that is eternal with him. So no matter what your experience of your earthly father, the amazing thought in this Advent season is that Jesus can be that everlasting Father to you and me. And I want to end with a little poem that is an invitation for you and I, and it goes like this. When the walls of Babylon are closing in, and Jerusalem is a dim and distant dream, shut the door, open a window, and pray. When narrowness of vision smothers hope and stifles your every ambition, shut the door, open a window, and pray. When you need to find your focus in a free and far horizon and to see beyond the furniture that frames you, shut the door, open a window, and pray. When darkness encroaches and shadows fight with sight and you crave the comfort of light, shut the door, open a window, and pray. When the presence of God is a misted memory and the promises of God are slow in coming, and the purposes of God are buried in the fields of your anxiety, when you are stuck, stagnated, struggling without hope and without help in the world, shut the door in the presence of your Father, Open a window to the promise of your Redeemer and pray to the one who loves and lives for you and longs to help you more than you can ever know.